How you guys doing? This is Spencer Clark with Breaking Bass Guide Service down here at Table Rock Lake. Just want to give you guys a fishing report from the past week down here at Table Rock. Had a guide trip this week. Had a pretty good day. Had a client that wanted to go out on a trip and just learn some of the different ways that I've been catching fish lately down here for my tournaments. Ended up catching about 9 keepers. Probably had about 14 pounds. Didn't get any real big fish, but we had numerous keepers that were, close to, 3.5, 4 pounds. Day started off a little slow, but was able to put it together and found one little hot spot where we caught some really good fish in the last couple hours of the trip. Saturday, spent the day out on Table Rock just looking for something different, trying to find something to possibly do good in Anglers in Action on Sunday. Andre Dick Knight and I, we went out and practiced and spent a lot of time on a lot of the bluffs and main and secondary points from Kimberling City all the way up to Wooley Creek up the James. Just trying to do something a little bit different, maybe try to figure out how to get a bigger bite. Ended up catching a couple keepers, but we never really found anything that, was lights out or better than what we've been doing. Sunday, started off fishing Anglers in Action, throwing a jerkbait. We were keying in on a lot of the main and secondary points around the Kimberling City area in the morning. Ended up catching a couple keepers, a couple smallmouth keepers, actually working a megabass, just in and around the timber on a lot of these secondary and main lake points. After catching a couple fish, we decided we're going to make a run up the James and look for a bigger bite. We went up the James River, went up to about Wooley Creek, threw a spinnerbait. We also threw a rock crawler looking for a little bit better fish up there, hoping that maybe those fish would be a little bit further along and we might be able to find a big one up there on the bank throwing a spinnerbait. That didn't work out so good. We spent a lot of time up there just kind of wasting our time. We did catch the biggest fish in our bag up there, just cranking a rock crawler down a secondary point. So it wasn't all for, it wasn't a complete waste, but when we went up there, we wasted somewhat of, part of our day in the morning. Ended up coming back down Kimberling City area about 11 o'clock or so. At that point, we had some battery issues. Andre's got to buy some new batteries, but our batteries got a little weak, which, makes it hard to fish when there's like 25, 30 mile an hour gusts. But we actually did kind of play the wind without the trolling motor, and we were able to put a couple fish in the boat to finish out our limit. Ended up weighing about 13 pounds, which wasn't, too exciting, but also, all things considered, with the trolling motor issues we were having and just, fishing the second post-frontal day there, wasn't a bad day of fishing. In fishing, you're going to have good days, you're going to have some mediocre days, and you're going to have, hopefully, not too many bad days. I would just call it kind of a mediocre day of fishing. Just never really seemed to get dialed into anything. Sometimes those are the kind of days, too, though, where you catch couple big fish just because you're kind of doing something, trying some different stuff in the tournament, and you just kind of get lucky and land on them. But anyways, the water right now from Kimberling up to Wooley Creek and the James, it's about the same temperature all the way across the board. We were finding 54 to 55 degree water. You get up to around like Piney Creek, up the James, you start getting a little bit dirtier water. I think there's going to be a spinnerbait bite coming on here pretty soon. Probably is right now. We just didn't seem to find it Sunday in that tournament. Not to say you couldn't go up there today and probably catch a big one on a spinnerbait. Water in the Kimberling area has gotten a little bit cleaner to me than like the last couple weeks. I'm not catching as many fish as I was, it seems like, and a lot of that I think just has to do with the amount of pressure the lake had over the past weekend. Right now I'm catching about 10, 11 keepers a day. The 2 weeks before, it wasn't anything to not catch 25 to 30 keepers a day, like just going out and going fishing. So the bite's gotten a little bit tougher, but a lot of that probably has to do with just the wind, the amount of pressure. We've got a full moon that's going to be coming up. There's going to be a lot more fish coming to the bank. It's going to be going to be getting really good here again. A lot of the bigger fish, like the better quality fish, just haven't showed up like on the bank yet. So they're still out there. They're still out there waiting to come in. I know a lot of guys were able to catch fish, just kind of throwing A-rigs and swim baits and underspins still under balls of shad at the mouth of creeks this weekend. Seen a lot of that going on with the college kids. I know a couple guys did pretty good doing that. You know, they had like 14 to like 17 pounds, which, you know, that's always a decent day on Table Rock. Anglers in Action ended up taking 23 pounds. That was a really good day. But if you look down like the leaderboard, there's a couple other good bags caught. For the most part, a lot of anglers that are really good at fishing Table Rock, they really kind of struggled. The weights were a lot lower than I thought they were going to be, and the fishing just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. But again, I think a lot of that had to do with the amount of pressure that the lake's been having in the last you know, week here with everybody practicing and all these major tournaments going on. Anyways, guys, like this weekend coming up, got a couple dates open for guide trip. Got a trip next week. Looking forward to that. I'll have a fishing report for you guys as the fishing continues to change down here at Table Rock. One thing that you guys can do if you follow and like this channel and you want to help the channel, I've got some new Breaking Bass apparel tank tops just in time for summer. These are great for in the gym or when you're out fishing on the water. Still got some t-shirts for sale. And I've also got hoodies for sale. So just shoot me a message and we'll get that all figured out. Ship you guys a shirt and a hoodie. That's a great way to support the channel. All the different baits that I've been using, like these rock crawlers and the Megabass jerk baits, you can find these on Baitworks website. I'll put that in the description too. Check them out. They got everything you need in order to go fishing, all the tackle you're going to need, and they're one of my sponsors. It's a great way to support the channel as well. Until next time, guys, tune in. I'll have a fishing report for you guys, and good fishing. We'll see you out there on the lake.